Divine Feminine. I have broken my own heart again. I have really made a mess this time, and I can see clearer than ever that the fault is entirely mine. I sit here and I cannot help but see the words repeated in my mind from what you sent me. When you finally had enough and reflected exactly how I have been treating you. When you finally showed me just how hard I have made things for you. How irresponsible and unaccountable I've been. How much I've been blaming you for things that you had no part in. All because I let my heart harden. And even despite that, even despite the great pain that you clearly have been in this whole time, when I had convinced myself that someone so divine as you had already moved on, cut me loose, and would never believe in me as much as you say you do. Really, I think I just took it as some strange sort of pity. Someone so as irredeemable as me. When really I failed to see that it was me who felt I was unworthy, and that you were just trying to love me, trying to remain a voice, at least one in my life who wasn't always crying about what I was doing wrong. This karmic carnival has got me all turned around, and now I feel like I've really lost, especially once you asked for it all back. Something I never expected from you. And more than that, even just in the asking, you made me realize just how much of my life I have because of you. All the gifts, the clothes, the memories, they're not just things. They have an energy. They are beings of their own. The toys, the jewelry, the emails, the texts, the pictures and videos. I can't believe I ever made you feel like it was just about sex. I can't believe that I didn't trust you, that I hid things from you, that I blamed you, that I made you feel like you were trying to scam me or hurt me or wreck relationships that were already wrecked to begin with, that I didn't even really want and only chose because I was afraid that you telling me to go meant that I was irrevocably irredeemable, and that I might as well go back to what I've always known, where at least I know I will be hurt, and then there won't be anything new, no more waiting for the other shoe to drop. And now I've been beaten by my own shoes. And to think, even just for a moment, that I've hurt you bad enough that you would be so unlike you as to ask for everything back. And not just to ask for it back, but to point out that I've already done that to you. That I've leaned on you. That I've taken from you and our children. That I have blamed you for why my life is so impoverished. That I have gone off into such a dark space and hidden my face from you and blamed you for that too. That I then went and took your sanctuary and connection to me, at least in the 3D, all because I was mad because you had poked at my pride. And then to find out, I knew you were up to something, but I didn't know what it was. And then to find out yet again, it was love. That you were just showing me that you were willing to fight, that you didn't even need to win, that you were willing to throw your arms up and let everybody stab every dagger they could within you just to show me that I'm worth it. That you spoke the words of truth to me that you knew I needed to hear in order to really see who I've allowed myself to become, all in my fear that I would become this anyways. And now, as the tears, I can't even stop them from flowing down my face, and I don't know that I can face you right now. You warned me so many times. You were so incredibly kind that it felt like it couldn't be real. You've been so kind this whole time. And even now, even as much as I want to be mad at you for doing the right thing and allowing me to hate you if that's what I need to do, for removing the false foundations from my already crumbling castle, and not even to hurt me, to save me, and to, more than that, stop giving more than you're giving back, which you deserved to do so long ago. And I admit I thought the worst of you when I left. I had to convince myself of that just to go. Or at least I thought I did. I feel like now I know I could have believed in what you told me, that if I'd done that, I wouldn't even have ever had to have left. But at very least, when I did, I could have believed in the best, and I could have realized that I didn't need to attach myself to anyone to be the version of me that you have so desperately tried to get me to see. And now I see that version of me, and I also see the version of me that I have been acting out. And I'm so heartbroken about it. I wanted so bad to plead with you. Please do not go. Please do not make me bring back everything that you've ever given me. I have been awful. I have been awful. I see. I have taken everything. I have been greedy. I have chosen everything bad for me. And just like you said, I put myself in the position where I have to do what you asked, and not because you forced me to, but because I was stubborn and prideful and arrogant too, and convinced myself you were only trying to control me instead of recognizing that you see me and you knew what I needed, and you were trying to make it easier and faster for me to get there and to avoid all of this pain. And I was like the hare in the tortoise and the hare story, believing that all I needed to do was jump in the fast lane and outdo you, that I could show you. And here I sit realizing I've proven nothing, except that my pride has, I don't even know what the word is. The words, they don't want to come out. I have been feeling like every time I open my mouth, I bring on more trouble. That I just need to shut up and give up. But at the same time, I feel like to give up is to hurt you even more. That to stay away is to hurt you even more, especially when you hold out the last sword by showing me you never gave up. That you still haven't. By showing me you were willing to create a situation where no matter how I acted, whether good or bad, divine or devilish, that consequences were coming, that my karma is coming, that I was going to get everything I asked for. You repeated that multiple times, and even if you didn't, it would still ring out in my mind. I asked for this. I demanded it. I demanded that you be polite when I was disrespectful, that you be fair when I was completely unfair, that you understand me when I ran from every moment that you needed it. I have messed things up so incredibly, and I am in the strangest place. It feels like everything is shifting and moving and changing, and there's nothing that I can do to change it or stop it or slow it down. That everything around me is coming tumbling down, and I feel the old me that feels like giving up, and yet the new me that says enough. Enough. Part of this mess is because you constantly give up. You run from your light, you run from love, you blame those that love you, and give all of yourself to those who could care less. Oh dear Divine Feminine, I've made such an incredible mess that I don't even know how to begin. I feel like I just need to sit in it. I need to own it. I need to face it. I need to stop running. I know that if I came to you right now, there's so much drama around me. It's such a circus. And I know that you already see that. I've never been able to lie to you and your final messages to me before you released me to what I told you I wanted you to leave me be in. That I could never hide the truth from you. And I still feel my mind going back and forth trying to figure out some sort of story, some sort of way to change it, to tell you I was protecting you, to say that I was doing something good for us, to make it you, to say that you wanted to see me learn hard lessons, to somehow take away this pain of recognition that I'm the only reason I'm in this situation. Though I think that's really what I really need to face right now. My own power. I felt so powerless that I've made this mess in trying to regain it and hold on to what little I felt like I had. It just felt so much easier to blame you. I see now it was easier to do that because it felt like you'd always forgive me. That so long as I never actually told you to go away, that you wouldn't. That there was never anything that I could do that would cause you to let go of my hand and do like you did and tell me that you love me and have faith in me and are still going to let me go. I feel like a child being locked in the closet in the dark. Except the closet is like a mansion and there's nothing in the middle of it, and I'm just sitting in a corner crying, scared, wishing for my mother or my sister or brother or some other divine being to reach out and show me which way to go. And even worse is the feeling of knowing that you were that being and have been for so long, that you already saw that in me and were trying. I feel like, even though it feels like you've let me go, that you actually are still showing me. I feel like I can hear your voice and feel your presence wrapping me in some incredibly warm white light, saying, "You've got this. You've got this. Just get up, move around, follow your heart and your intuition. Yes, it's scary sometimes, but it's okay to be scared. You've just got to be willing to dare, because just sitting there is what will bring you more pain. Sitting in all that you've known, refusing to grow. You've got to get up. And I feel like somehow you're telling me, you're showing me that in letting me go in the most amazingly, lovingly way that you did, even with some of the harsh words that stung so deeply, you still are showing me that you have faith in me to do it alone. I have to tell you, Divine Feminine, nobody else has ever been willing to show me that. I think for a minute I even believed that you were no different simply because you wouldn't let go. Because nobody else lets go. They all need to have some incredible control over me. Like if they were to leave me alone for just a few hours, that somehow I would burn everything down. That I could never be trusted to find my own way, to myself, to them, any of it. And those were the voices that I let dominate my mind instead of listening to Divine. This is so hard. And I recognize even worse than how hard it feels for me is that I left you in this, and I didn't even do it with love in my mind. I did it because I convinced myself that I wasn't worthy of you, and then let myself get into such a dark tune that I convinced myself it was you, that you were the reason that everything was all wrong and upside down. And I left you in that dark space to cry yourself out until you had nothing left but to get up and move. I'm so sorry, Feminine. I don't even know how to begin to start making up for that. And I feel like such an ass for not even saying, please don't make me give it all back. Please let me hold on to the things that you've given me. They bring me such strength. And I see now that if I were to give them all back, I wouldn't even be me. I would be missing so many parts of my soul I didn't even know. I took it all for granted. And now I see that I did that to you. And not just once. I've done damnable things. Things that you don't even know about yet. I am so sorry, Divine Feminine. I'm having a hard time even being able to give you some sort of assurance that I'll be back. I feel like I must. That I can't live with myself nor let go until I find a way to show you how much you mean to me. That even in your meanness, I can see how much you love me. I feel like I want to beg for you to continue seeing good things in me, even though I definitely don't feel like I deserve it. I suppose I understand if you decide to turn away for good. Though, somehow, some way, I feel like this is my karma